Welcome to another episode of Focus on Outcomes, where we talk to local leaders about their businesses and what they do to support the organizations that we work in and live in. We're very excited to have a special guest with us today. Candice, thanks for joining. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
We're excited to have Sam Ballweg with Endres Manufacturing, a Wanakee-based organization. So Sam, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, maybe you could start by telling us a little bit more about you and your background.
Sure. So again, Sam Ballweg. I am a fourth generation of leadership at Endres Manufacturing. Like I said, we're a structural steel fabricator in Wanakee, Wisconsin. Grew up in the area, went away to school for a couple of years, ended up moving back home, joining the family business back in my 20s. Have been home full time for over 20 years now, and have a wife, 3 beautiful children, and excited to be here today.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit more about the history of Endres Manufacturing and kind of what your role is there today.
Sure. I'm the president of Endres Manufacturing. It's a 99-year-old family business. We're actually coming up on our 100 years, so we're excited to start celebrating that in the coming year. We've done a lot of planning, have a lot of fun activities and events planned for that. Like I said, I'm in the 4th generation of ownership now, so it was started by my great-grandfather. Back when he started, it did a lot of just repair work. He was actually a bit of an inventor and an entrepreneur, so he had several patents to his name. One of the stories that we like to tell is he actually wrote a letter to Henry Ford to try to add something to one of the first cars that he was coming out with. So Grandpa was very much that way, always trying to get out there and come up with new ideas. My grandpa then took over as a young man, kind of grew the business into some of the structural steel work that we do now. My dad came on to the business. He actually just celebrated 60 years at the company, which is a pretty rare accomplishment for just about anybody. But he's the one who kind of took us more into the real structural steel industry, where we're supplying steel to large building projects across Wisconsin and the Midwest. So a lot of work for the UW campus, a lot of work out at Epic these days, and now data centers all over the United States as well. So we've seen a ton of growth in the last couple of years, and something we're really proud and excited about.
Interesting in the data center side of it. I wouldn't have thought of that.
I'm sure we could get into it, but data center construction is the largest area of construction right now. The numbers are staggering, trillions of dollars being spent on data center construction, and kind of hogging all of the resources. Concrete, steel is really all going towards data center construction right now.
Good place to be.
It's a different world. It's very different from all the stuff that we're doing now. I mean, an office building and a hotel and an apartment is very standardized construction. Data center scale is huge. Timing is huge. Customers are very demanding. So it's a very different market than what we're used to here in Dane County.
Yeah. Back to the point that you made earlier about the letter to Henry Ford. Did he get a response?
Not that we have in our records. No, we have the letter he sent, but we don't have anything in return.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about is the foundation that the organization is actively contributing to organizations within our community. Tell us a little bit more about kind of how that got started and where it's at today.
I would say the Endres Manufacturing has had a long history and culture of giving back to the community. Our grounds in Wanakee, for those that have ever come by, is very unique. So we've been in that location for a little over 50 years. When we moved to that spot, we were on what was the edge of Wanakee back then. Now we're been swallowed up by the village of Wanakee again, and we're right in the heart of town. But Grandpa always wanted that to be something that's really welcoming and exciting for visitors that are coming in from town to see and kind of welcome them to our community. So we have goats on the property, which is very unique. Live goats live there for all summer long. And one of the things he did was he built a small chapel on our grounds as well that families can come and visit. But he did that as a way of thanking, the Lord for all the work and everything that he was given in his life. So it's this cool little piece of our property there and something that we've held on to for all these years. That same type of giving, though, is something that's held with our family for many years. So my mom is a very philanthropic person. She runs our foundation. She started that in 1996. In a way, just like you guys are constantly being asked for donations and helping contribute and give back to the community. This is our way of kind of funneling that all into one place versus, Dad making a donation of $100 to this and then me making a donation and an employee asking for something. Sure. This way we were able to kind of channel all that funding through one source and one ask. And also allowed us to be a little bit more generous too. Instead of making a bunch of $100 donations, we were able to give larger donations. So the foundation has given over $5 million since its inception in 1996, which is really awesome. We go through 2 grant cycles a year, so May and November. So we actually got one coming up here in the very near future. The last cycle back in May, we had $1 million in requests, which was really exciting for us. We love to see people coming to us and knowing that we're a source of funding. And we contributed about $300,000 at that last time. So we're really excited to be able to do that and give back to the community.
I feel like I have to ask about the goats, though. How did the goats start?
So the goats came to Endres about 50 years ago when we were there. And like I said, at that time, we were on the edge of Wanakee. So there was actually a farmer next to us. So we thought it'd be fun to bring some goats in. Grandpa loved the goats up in Door County on that roof. There was a place in Frankenmuth, Michigan that was really inspiring to him. And again, just always thought goats were funny and cute. And so was a big proponent of them. So we brought them in. They've been with us for, like I said, almost 40 some years now, and they come back every summer. Great thing we do for the community. They have a lot of fun. They get fed really well by all the kids that bring food and snacks to them all summer long.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But it's a different set of goats. It's not the same ones that were there 50 years ago, right?
They're a different set of goats. Yeah. We do tend to get babies each year, which is really cute. About midsummer, we had about 6 kids born this year. So
what types of organizations or initiatives do you prioritize when you're selecting or awarding these grants?
Yeah, a lot of it is very widely spread depending on the cycle of what's going on in the world. So a good example is during COVID. That was a whole different time. So we gave a lot more money to supporting people that needed it, whether it was businesses that were struggling or organizations that were having a hard time, medical resources. It was really cool right away. We saw that need and we gave a large donation to the United Way right away because that was the fastest way to get money into the people's hands that needed it. So there's things like that. We are very focused on the local area though too. We really want to support things that are in Wanakee. We want to support things that are going to directly affect our employees, families, customers. So we tend to really make sure we focus on what's local. We do get requests nationwide for a lot of things, but we really tend to give to things that are more right here in Dane County.
Sure. And then you mentioned that there's 2 cycles. So when this podcast is released in November, you'll be deep in the review process, I'm sure, for this cycle. How do you, what does that review process look like for you guys?
So the foundation is made of 7 members. One is my mom, who's the chair. My wife serves on the committee. We have a former employee. We have a spouse of a current employee. We have a couple financial advisors and a lawyer, because it's always good to have a lawyer on those things.
Right.
And then they sit around the table, they go through these grants. And so I think last time we had about 30 or 40 different grant requests that came in. It's got information about what they're raising money for, how much they're asking for, some of the details of the organization. They do some site visits on occasion as well. So that's something cool that they get the time to go and actually see the organizations at work. Then they just basically have a discussion of what are they asking for? How does this relate to our mission and what we're trying to do? There's some really easy ones usually, like, oh, this is something that's right in our wheelhouse that we need to support. And then there's other ones that maybe require a little bit more discussion about talking about how does this fit? Is this more important than some of the other things we're giving? There's times too where a bunch of food pantries or food banks are all requesting at the same time. So maybe they just select 2 of the 4 instead of trying to give to all 4 of them in that cycle.
Yeah. What a neat way to involve people again within your family, though. Like, it seems like that's such a part of your culture, and to have the ability to have someone like your wife be able to sit on that is just that's really interesting. I love that.
I love that the former employees have been involved, spouses, and they tend to rotate in on and off, which again is great exposure for our team too, to know what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're giving back to the community too. So,
and it's got to be a source of pride for the employees to know that the work that they do does have some contributing factor to things that happen and are important in the community.
Absolutely. We spend a lot of time promoting, especially if our employees have a cause that they're passionate about. Like, hey, that's what this foundation is created for. If you're spending a lot of time at your local library, come to us, let us be a contribution to that as well. One thing that our company is very proud of is we do matching donations as well, up to $2,500 a year. And we really encourage the employees to get involved in that. A lot of promoting that. Other companies might kind of hide that information. We put it right out in front of them and highly encourage them to get involved, and to the point of almost getting angry at them when they're not contributing. Like, guys, you need to contribute. We all make good money. We need to make sure we're supporting the community around us. So
yeah, I love that. Are there any recent projects that you've been especially connected to or proud of that you'd be willing to share?
One that I'd really like it, because my family's been personally involved for many years, is the River Food Pantry. So again, it's a food pantry out on the east side of town, but really services all of Dane County. We got introduced to it through the foundation. We didn't know anything of it. They put a request in. My wife went, to check it out, learn more about it. She ended up volunteering. She took her mom to volunteer, and then my kids started volunteering. And over the course of the last 10 years, they've logged probably hundreds of hours, out on the site itself. There's what's called a munch truck that we sponsored personally, where it goes out into the community, delivers lunch food to the kids over the summer months, which my kids have been involved with which is really cool. But they do an awesome job, and the foundation just gave $100,000 for their new building project, which is something that we're really happy to be a part of. Annie and I have donated personally, and just excited to see that come together. The company actually does the steel for the project too, so it's multifaceted, all the different ways that we're involved in that project. So that one was really cool to see come together.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a neat story that you had so many people involved in it. It's also kind of heart-wrenching when you do talk to the food pantries of the number of people in the communities that we work in have food insecurity and need access to what they provide. It's a wonderful source of food and nutrition to people who just don't have it.
It's amazing, the stories, like you said, it's hits so many people that you wouldn't even expect. There's been a ton of great individuals we met along the way where you would not know that this individual grew up with that food insecurity. He talked about how important it was for him just to know where the next meal was coming from, and that he couldn't focus in school because he's showing up there wondering, hey, am I going to have lunch today? Mm-hmm. So all these organizations do tremendous work, and that's one thing that we're really proud of is the amount of organizations we've been able to directly affect in our 20 years of supporting them. So yeah,
approaching $5 million over 30 years. This will be next year will be the 30th anniversary. Right. That's significant. Huge contributions to the community. What's next for the foundation? Where do you see it headed?
So, like I said earlier, we're celebrating our 100 years for the company and 30 years for the foundation next year. So, we're planning our biggest year ever in terms of donations. We're going to give away more than we ever had before. We've been pretty conservative in what we've been giving because we want to continue to see the body of the foundation continue to grow, so we have more money to give every year. And this is the first year where we feel comfortable to make some larger donations. I can't spoil it yet because Mom has a lot of things she wants to share, but we are planning to do some really cool things in the coming year to really amp up what we've done in the past and kind of take it to the next level. So
that's exciting. That's great. So we do this rapid fire session where we just throw some questions at you. First thing that comes to mind. This is an unsponsored section of our podcast, so we're always looking for a sponsor for anyone listening that would like to be part of that. So first thing that comes to mind, we'll just have some fun with it. So are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm definitely an early bird type of guy. That I think I was up at like 5 o'clock this morning, can't sleep, so I get up and watch the recap of the World Series last night. It was a tough one to stay up till the end of that one. So.
Yeah, I didn't even know it went 18 innings until somebody told me after I'd been up for about an hour.
Yep.
What would be one word that your team would use to describe you?
Analytical, I think. I think that's something that they think that I probably think things through too much. Even when Levity's trying to ask me about a next purchase, I have a lot of questions. It's not as easy, hey, let me sign that PO. It's like, can we walk through this again and make sure I walk through all the details of it? So pretty detail oriented in that way.
Do you think that you analyze things too much?
Yeah, I would say so. I won't say it's a bad thing. It's just my mind is I like to make sure I know all the answers before I pull the trigger on something.
Better to be sure.
What about you?
The word or whether I'm analytical?
Whether you're analytical.
Oh, I wanted the word.
Oh, why don't you answer that question? Do you think that I'm overly analytical or analytical in general?
You're really putting me on the spot here. No, I don't think so. Okay. You like to ask the right questions.
What word would you use to describe me?
Oh, boy.
We don't usually turn the table.
No, I know. I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, my husband, thinks so highly of you, so he would be like, perfect. Okay, so maybe we just roll with that. He's like, Jeff is great, and I'm always like, yeah. I just nod and
we don't need to have you answer.
I'll wave. Yeah, we'll just move on.
Okay. Favorite genre of music?
I think I've turned into a country guy, which is funny because I used to hate country as a kid. I remember complaining when country music was on. But I think it's you age, it just kind of speaks to you differently. And my kids have gotten to know that there's a certain style of country music that appeals to me. A lot of the Kenny Chesney, Darius Rucker, Zach Brown band. So that you hear one of those songs like, oh, that's a total dad song because it's just feel good country music. So.
All right. Do you guys play music at the office?
We do. We rotate it every day of the week. So, it's rock and then oldies and then country one day. And
oh, that's fun.
Yep.
I like that. We just on Fridays here, Jeff, like all of a sudden the radio gets a little bit louder and then we know it's like a Friday afternoon.
I know it was too loud last week when somebody said, what song is that? I like it. Yeah. Over Teams. I'm like, oh, that's too loud. Yeah. What's the best advice you've gotten from a family member?
Well, again, Endres is a long-time family business. So one of the things that stuck with me in my time is when I came back to Endres Manufacturing, my dad said to me, you're not coming in and becoming president right away. You're going to earn it. He said the way you're going to earn it is because the employees are going to tell me when you're ready. And that's something that, to me, is a big example of the servant leadership that we standby here at Endres is you come in and you earn it. You get the trust, you get their respect. You don't just come in and start telling everybody you're the boss. You get it because you work hard and deserve to be there.
That's great. You've earned it. What's your favorite dad joke?
My wife is so fed up with me screwing up directions that I decided I'm going to pack up my bags and I write.
All right. Good. So, Sam, before we wrap up, where can listeners find more information about Endres Manufacturing and obviously the foundation specifically for the next cycle? Would be a great time.
The foundation can go to our website at endresmanufacturing.com, endresmfg.com. And again, it's something that we're going to be putting a lot out there in the coming months. So definitely check the website. We do have social media, both LinkedIn and Facebook is where we put a lot of that information. So feel free to follow us there as well. And
if you're in Waunakee, look for the goats.
Yeah, the goats are gone now, but definitely come back and check them out next spring and enjoy them all summer long. And the best opportunity is our Walktoberfest celebration that we host every year. We really didn't get a chance to talk about that, but another cool thing we do for the community every September. So be on the lookout for that as well.
That is a fun time.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was a pleasure.
You bet.